Today, I'm going to show you how to use one of Excel's most useful hidden tools. It's called the camera tool. Camera tools are really great if you want to create a dashboard worksheet where you share information with other people, but you don't really want them to be able to make changes to what you're reporting on. So first, let's open up the camera tool. To get it, it's actually kind of hidden. It's not on the ribbon anywhere. So what I'm going to do is go up to the quick access toolbar and click to the menu so I can add something to the quick access toolbar. I'm going to choose more commands because it's not one of the common ones that I can pick from. And then when it says choose commands, I'm going to switch to the option that says commands not in the ribbon. Because believe it or not, the camera tool is very helpful, but it doesn't show up anywhere in the ribbon. So if I scroll, I'm going to look for the camera, select it, and I'll click the Add button. And when I click OK, now on my ribbon, I have this icon that looks like a camera. Now that I have this icon, I'm going to show you how I can take this pivot table that I created and add it to another worksheet, but as a picture. And it's actually a special kind of picture. It's actually a live picture. So when the information changes in this pivot table, it's also going to change in the picture that I take using the camera tool. So the first thing I'm going to do is select this pivot table. Then I'm going to click on the camera. And what it does is it essentially is copying the information in the pivot table. Then I'm going to go to this worksheet called Eval's Dashboard, and you'll notice my cursor looks just like a little cross. If I click, that's basically going to bring over a picture of that pivot table. But what's really cool about it is if I select it and look at the formula bar, it shows that it's actually linked to that evaluation lookup pivot table. And what will happen is when the pivot table changes, so will what I see on this dashboard worksheet. So just to kind of show you how it all works, I'm going to go back to the source for the eval lookup, and I'm going to add a timeline to it. So when I select my pivot table and I go to my ribbon and choose the pivot table analyze, you have this little filter section, and that's where you can get to what are called your slicers and your timelines. And those are filters that are handy for other users that are trying to look at your data. I'm going to insert a timeline, and the only field that I have that's for dates is a field called dates. So I'm going to select that and click OK, and that brings up my timeline. Now the thing is I want to bring this timeline to the same worksheet that has that picture that I took of the pivot table using the camera tool. So I'm just going to do a Control X, and that'll copy the slicer. I'm going to go to the Eval's dashboard and do a paste. So I'm just going to press Control V. That's going to bring my timeline to this worksheet. I'm just going to move it over here to the right. And now what will happen is if I use the timeline and select a specific month, so I'm going to pick March, what that does is it's going to filter the pivot table over on the source for eval lookup. So it basically filters the source pivot table, and that changes this live picture that I took using the camera tool. So it's a great way to add something to a dashboard worksheet and make sure that nobody can really make changes to it. For more information about our company, visit officeproductivitytraining.com.